I had a very interesting experience with John Curtis, Professor John Curtis. He and I were both dubbed with fake words by a Russian TV program called NTV, and I had the evidence, which was rather reassuring. Anyway, Curtis has said that given the local elections last year and the movement away from the Conservative Party over the course of this year, it's likely that tactical voting is going to form a major part of the early May elections, and it will lead to the most enormous bruising for Rishi Sunak, with the possibility of losing about 1,000 seats in May. He says, it's resonant with what happened at local elections between 1992 and 1997 when the Tories were so disliked and in deep trouble. Tactical voting happens when people dislike the government so much that they will take whatever stick is available to beat it with. And it's possible that that also explains a lot of the referendum result as well. But you know, that suggests that the Conservative government has been unpopular for a very long time. So I'm not sure that's a way we would go. The crucial question, he says, is how big a factor that tactical voting is. If it happens in a big way, then the Tory party could lose well over 1,000 seats in May. Tactical voting would reduce the overall national vote share Labour would need in order to win a majority. It could be the difference between whether Labour gets an overall majority in the Commons. Well, of course, what he doesn't say, because he's being dramatic, because he's being asked questions and he's being asked to project. What he doesn't say is that there's a big difference between the local elections this May and the elections whenever Rishi Sunak chooses to call them for a general election. It could be that quite fervent Conservative voters will vote tactically or not vote at all in May, simply to give Rishi Sunak and Suella Braverman a nose bashing. And I earnestly hope that Rishi Sunak reflects on the fact that the May elections will be a referendum of sorts on the sort of racist agendum that he has adopted through Suella Braverman and with this obsession with small boats. That is not what we're interested in. We're interested in the cost of living. We're interested in the survival of the NHS. We're interested in the security of Europe and the threats posed by President Putin and President Putin's annexation of bits of Ukraine, the illegal annexation of the Donbass and Crimea. That is what the majority of people in the UK are worried about. They're also worried about the threat to the Union, the loss of Scotland, the loss of Northern Ireland, the fracturing of our national identity. And instead, what we're getting is a shrill obsession with small boats, which is actually making us not only unpopular across Europe and internationally, it's making us a laughingstock, because these will be laws which cannot actually be put into effect. These are laws which are going onto the statute book, which are going to make the fox hunting laws, the anti-fox hunting laws, look like a magnificent success. The hunting with dogs law only changed the practice in the countryside because there was a movement, there was a corresponding movement against fox hunting. The actual law itself is toothless. And the laws that Suella Braverman are concocting at the moment are not only toothless, I think they're going to get us into a lot of trouble. Because in the end, as she demonstrated so adroitly on Laura Newsberg's television program a few weeks ago, she's completely unaware of Rwanda's reputation when it comes to the treatment of refugees, particularly from Congo, and she seemed surprised by Laura Newsberg's report about the 12 people from the Republic of Congo who had been killed, and she knew nothing, nor did Laura, about the boy who was killed only a short while later. So much death, and yet Suella Braverman insists this is a safe country and this is the right place to trust our reputation and to offload, to trust another country with our reputation for looking after people who have come to us asking for help. This is the help we offer them, to give them to a country which has got a reputation for killing refugees. I'm sure Rwanda is a great place, and I wish Rwanda well in its general recovery from the most appalling civil war. But that recovery is ongoing. It needs our help, absolutely. But I don't think it can be trusted to look after our refugees for us.